Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Welcome to this episode of Anhar. There are a whole lot of things we should be grateful for in our life. So many blessings, if we just realize it. What does being a Muslim evoke in us? What does it mean? Do we have to be grateful for being a Muslim? Well, being a Muslim is not an ordinary gift. It is an extraordinary, perhaps the most important aspect of blessings in our life. We should be grateful for our Muslim identity. Sense of gratitude for our Muslim identity. That's the topic for the day. So to unpack and dive into this topic, we have Muhammad Shihab and Dr. Aftar Yusuf. Thank you very much for coming over. Let me get started with you. How would you break this down for us, like the semantics of it, gratitude?
Okay. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Yes, indeed, this is a very important topic. I think all topics that we take up here on this program are important. And whatever we do, whatever we talk about, we try to bring in an idea that the audience would want to take home. And I think in that regard, it's very important for us to bring out topics that have seminal value, everyday meaning to us. And I think this idea of thankfulness, gratitude, and connecting it with Islam is a very important thing. The fact that we are 100% Muslim nation, there is something special about everything we do in respect to Islam. And I think, as you say, unpacking perhaps meaning, let's look at the words itself. What is gratitude first? Gratitude, as I understand, is a kind of thankfulness. But it's not a mere saying thank you. It's deeper than that. It's more of a feeling of connection, a warmth of being appreciated. And so this appreciation and having somebody done something for you to be thankful for is more than an everyday thank you. It's about reciprocation. It's about how we can give back for the goodness somebody has done for us. And I think that's the difference we have to try and make in the semantics of these words. And so it's a deeper understanding of thank you, but it is an appreciation, more to say. So there is this thing about gratitude and how in demonstrating the identity of Islam in our lives, how do we demonstrate it in this context of gratitude? Is it just saying, I appreciate very much, thanks for what you did, I enjoyed the dinner very much, let's get together again? Beyond that, you are dealing with your Creator, not just another person who has done something for you. So I think that is a very important thing. It's not just a friend or a colleague or even a boss or something, but an ultimate boss, right? The one who created us. And with his creation, he has given so many blessings to us. So, firstly, it's about the magnitude of the goodness that we have. What are those goodnesses that we have? Life itself. We are alive. We are here to enjoy and give thanks. And as we understand, God created us to worship Him. Right? That's the basic idea. And since He created us, He has given us a purpose also, for us to be the vicegerents of this earth, to preserve it for the next generation, and in that regard, doing the kinds of things that will help others to sustain this earth for the next generation to come. So that's just from the point of view of the purpose of our lives. But beyond that, you have all the ability for us to enjoy this life is also there. Our sight, our smell, our taste, and our ability to make decisions by ourselves, not being tightly knit and enslaved by a system where you only do what is told. So I think all those things are freedoms and leeways for us to feel that sense of, being independent, yet given us that feeling of family, community, where we all can feel that sense of belonging also. So to traverse and pass through this life, which is a toilsome world, actually, challenges and so many sadnesses and joys also. So this tapestry of a life on this earth need a lot of guidance, need a lot of love, need a lot of understanding that we have not just a purposeless world, but a meaningful destination at the end also. And we are being tested. All that comes into being. So I think there's a lot to be grateful for. And so that gratitude is, in simple words, we live gratitude every day. When somebody does something for us, when we buy something, or somebody smiles at us, or says a kind word, all these things are there. But I think our discussion is, have to go to our Creator, whose blessings we are having all the time, but we tend to take it for granted. So how can we become more aware of these things so that we are consciously in His presence?
So a whole lot of things together constitute sense of identity, and also gratitude also represents a lot of attitudes, a lot of values, appreciation, and also not losing focus of the blessings we have. If you are to lose focus on the blessings you have been endowed with, then you will lose sense of gratitude, and something else will creep into it, that vacuum. There will be a vacuum. When the gratitude leaves you, something dastardly will come into your being, and it will be reflected in your behavior and life. Shihab, to expand on that, is Muslim identity constitutes a lot of aspects as far as life is concerned.
Yeah.
Anything more even?
Yeah, thank you. Zubair. The thing is that when we talk about Muslim identity, I strongly believe we have to understand where our Muslim identity comes from. To me, it comes from Allah's mercy. Now, when we say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, I was listening to one scholar explaining the meaning of both of these words, Sheikh Numan Ali Khan, talking about gratitude, Rahmah, and there are two types. Ar-Rahman is the kind of mercy of Allah that is for all humanity. That we breathe is rahmah of Allah. That we have limbs, that we have ears, we have eyes, we have a brain, we have a heart. All this is Allah's rahmah. It is for all humanity. But then Rahim is that mercy, or this component is only for Muslims. Now, which is now, for instance, the ability to go to paradise. To this Rahim is the opportunity for us to return to Allah. To return in the sense that is only for Muslims. It's not for all humanity. And we have Laylatul Qadr, which we find, and if we delve into that night, we have 88 years plus rahmah, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is only for Muslims. So, all this and the I mean, I think, even when I wake up in the morning, I think, how many people, Zubair, how many people have the ability to actually speak? There are in this world, there are 700,000 people who die every year of loneliness. I have Dr. Sattar to speak to once in a while. I have you to speak to. I have so many others, well-meaning people, well-placed people. I have a loving family. This is all Allah's rahmah. And the fact that, the fact that we are, I don't know, as we said, that we are not aware of this, that this is Allah's rahmah, that this is a gift to us. See, on a birthday when somebody brings us a gift, on any special day when somebody gives, like my family recently on my birthday gave me a watch. I was so excited, so happy. I was full of gratitude. I was full of thankfulness for many, many days.
Wonderful.
I mean, so high of feeling happy. But then, Allah, imagine, when I wake up in the morning, I realize, how many people have the opportunity to have such circles and such networks. But only when I started talking about it, I realized, I need to be grateful for this. We actually don't even count the number of blessings for which we have to be grateful. And then, like Dr. Sattar was saying, it's not only speaking like this or saying like this. We have to show it. And how to show it? This is in Asr Surah, isn't it? How to show is in Asr Surah. Three things, what are the three things in Asr Surah that we talk about?
Amanu wa amil as-salihat. Wal asr.
Do good,
Patience.
and then spread truth, and then patience. And I believe, the most important aspect of gratitude in practice is patience. That is what our Prophet Rasulullah showed us. His patience in the 13 years of suffering in Makkah. How patient he was. His patience in Taif. And this reminds also what I wanted to contribute to this conversation. We have the way to be grateful is to also to learn the Quran, to learn about the Prophet Rasulullah. It is also an act of gratitude, because it's only when we learn this that we can be a good Muslim. Being a good Muslim is about how to do things the way Allah would want them to do. Dr. Sattar was saying, about our boss. Now, like, when we are in the office, like both of us when we were working in the education ministry, we would definitely want the pleasure of the Minister of Education, wouldn't we? We definitely would. Then there's nothing wrong with it. But shouldn't we want more the pleasure of Allah? And it is, I think, we can only be grateful if we have this mindset and attitude where we do what we do for the pleasure of Allah.
The definition of ikhlas, or sincerity, basically, seeking pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, being sincere to yourself. So, one cannot be true to oneself unless one is grateful for the blessings. Sometimes blessings come by means of others' kindness, or by means of one's own sweat and toil. Sometimes by means of chance, just out of the blue, things happen. Either way, we are tested. We are tested in the sense that whether or not we are grateful. So the gratitude of being a Muslim should not be, as you said, should not be taken for granted, number one. Number two, that we should live that gratefulness, or that gratitude. We should live it. Live it in the sense that we should practice acts of kindness, practice our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, worship, acts of worship. And also there should be some righteousness in our life. I mean, there should be, our life should be first and foremost guided by truth, guided by the guidance of the prophetic traditions, prophet's teachings. So unless these aspects of life, unless we adhere to these values, we will not have a touchstone or a yardstick to measure our values against. So we'll get lost and we'll be drowned in the currents of relativism, moral relativism, moral obscurity.
Yeah. Yes, I mean...
How do you weigh on this?
No, I think I mentioned the semantics, one word, identity. We didn't go into identity. I think identity is a very simple word, and in our everyday life, we all know what identity is. I have an identity card which tells it's my name, my birthday, and when it will expire and all that. Not that it knows when I will expire, but the card expires. Right? Well,
we also expire.
We don't know anybody. We don't know the day we will expire. But certainly we will expire, that we know, right? So, so identity is very important for us to know that I am Sattar, I am Shihab, I am Zubair. That's your name. Name is your identity. Similarly, we can be identified by our profession. You could be identified by the great football player. Yeah, whatever, yes. So they again identified. It's an ID, okay? And you can see about education, maybe. You are a graduate, or higher, or you're a researcher, you are a person who is in another organization, depending on who is in one club or another club. So identity comes in many ways. So I'm trying to lead you to the Islamic identity. But what does Islamic identity mean? That is a big question. Because how do we imagine the identity of a Muslim? Is it by the cap we wear, or the kind of jubbah we wear, or the tasbih we carry, or the kinds of gowns we wear? how we have our turban. Is that? These are also identity, but it's skin deep merely. You have to go beyond that. And we all know when we were little children, we Taulim Diana Evanabat. Islam Kamaga Rukunta. What do we do? Okay, we profess the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prophets. But beyond that, you have praying, namaz ko, zakat, fasting, and perhaps Hajj once in a lifetime. So, I identify myself as a Muslim truly, or other people identify also, by these outward expressions of identity, just like your cap or these are the things that I do in worship. I pray every day. I fast during the month of Ramadan. I do charity to other people, give them things. I donate something to an organization that is doing, helping Gaza or whatever else that is happening in the world. Or even in our own nation, if some calamity strikes, I would help out, be there. Yeah. And so that will be the identity. But beyond that also, as Shihab mentioned, we need to know about the Prophet, his life. We need to know the Quran. Just like we recite the Quran, we must know the meaning of the Quran also, because that embodies the treasure of knowledge for us. Every ayah is a bounty of knowledge. You just mentioned about Surah Al-Asr, Inna al-insana lafi khusr. We are at a loss, but Allah will guide us. Yeah? He says by time, man is at a loss. And that loss has to be helped with guidance. And so Allah is a guide also. The book is a guide. So all that are indicators of us being a Muslim. Just like when somebody who comes and asks us, hey, you are a Muslim, so tell me something about being a Muslim. Why are you a Muslim, for instance? How many of us are able to answer those questions to somebody when they ask us? So these are the many, many different ways of identifying ourselves as Muslims, is the identity. And that, as you said about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us continuous blessings. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop our air. He doesn't stop our food. He doesn't stop our heart. Continue on. So that means we should be grateful and gratitude, giving back to Allah also continuously. So it is a give and take.
So the moment we are born, even before we are born, the blessings start coming towards us, like pre-birth stage also. We, as human beings, we are looked after by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so fed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's a world of its own. And so the Islamic identity has a genesis, has its roots, its origin, and it has emerged as a civilization for the humanity to imbibe. So along these lines, I have some more questions to put to Shihab, but we'll take a break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We are discussing on the topic sense of gratitude for our Muslim identity. Now, Muslim identity evokes a civilization, feelings of belongingness, that we belong to a civilization. It's not just following a particular set of values or rituals, or we are imbibing a set of virtues, but it is beyond that. It is a complete civilization, and it is so pervasive in our life that it is guiding us in every aspect of our life, be it economic, be it social, be it political. In every sphere we are guided by the teachings of Islam and the precedents set by Islam and the prophetic traditions which demonstrated how Quran is to be enforced and implemented in our life at various levels, as a society, as a family, as an individual, at various levels, how we implement these values in our lives. So along those lines, do you see the civilization as something that we should cherish, we should stick to it, and we should live by the values that it has passed on to us from generation to generation, including knowing the history, the true history of Islam, because there is so much of his truth is buried in the sense that it is
lost,
covered up. Much of it is covered up as hands changed. In other words, the rulers, as hands changed over the years.
I think Islamic civilization.
Yeah.
To me, as I was thinking, during this conversation, now I would say Islamic civilization started the day Allah created Adam alayhi salam. Because that was the day when when human civilization started, that day, right?
This is birth of Islam as
Birth
well.
of Islam as well, birth of humanity as well.
Right.
And we know from tradition, we know from the stories that we have been told, we know from the Quran, and also the stories that we have been told, that Allah had actually shown everything that will come to Adam alayhi salam, and he was familiarized with all the knowledge and all the vocabulary that we have so far in this world. Now, that is civilization. So, when we say we have invented something, that was there on that day, already there. Going to the moon, going to Mars, it was already there. The rockets, it was already, this language, these concepts were already there. So, the point I'm trying to make is that we have to understand that whatever knowledge, whatever greatness that we have, whatever we are celebrating today, originated from Allah. We did not produce anything of our own greatness.
Absolutely.
So when we have that attitude and that mindset that we are not great, that it is Allah only and Allah only is great, then we can start to live the Muslim identity, which starts with humility. The Muslim identity starts with humility. Our Prophet was the most humble human being ever to walk this earth. Ever to walk this earth. Why I say this is, from what scholars have told. We know all his everything, whatever he has been forgiven, whatever he's all forgiven, but still he works to be. He tries to be grateful, more grateful to Allah than any one of us. So that to me is the Muslim identity, the way of the Muslim. to live that life, to be grateful, not. I mean, it's like, some of us, I've seen people, I've been told about people, they will do all these kind of funny things. All kind of funny things, corruption and, blah, 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 all these things. They think, next year I'll go to Umrah and I'll be fine. You can't cheat Allah. We can't cheat Allah. So, I think that to me the second thing is ihsan and sincerity. Sincerity, because sincerity to me, in this context, to me means knowing that Allah is watching. Knowing that Allah is watching, that He is all seeing. So I can't hide. I can't hide anything. Even that which is in my heart, He knows. So this is where I want to bring in. I want to bring in the next point. Being the Muslim, the true Muslim, will never be a proud person. We will not have this feeling of exclusivity. We will forgive everybody, irrespective of whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim. We will be forgiven to everybody. Again, I would like to bring in the incident, the Taif incident, where Jibreel alayhi salam came with the two malaika, and then Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told, if you ask, we will squash these people in between these two mountains. And he said, no. They were not Muslim. They had been stoning him for how many days? But what he said was very simple. No. From there, children might come, good people who will worship Allah. So, therefore, to close this conversation here for me now, I would like to say that we Muslims should never be arrogant. We should never be arrogant. We should always be forgiving. We should learn to live with all humans. Allah is merciful to all humans, not just to Muslims. So who are we to just exclude ourselves from the rest of the humanity and just be with the Muslims? No. That is not how we were created. I believe.
Yeah. Being a Muslim is a big responsibility.
Yes.
A responsibility of passing the message. We have the responsibility. We have been entrusted to pass the message to the rest of the world. So that was what the Prophet's companions did. I mean, when there was the last pilgrimage, Prophet's one and only pilgrimage anyway. So there were over 100,000 companions participating in that pilgrimage, and yet by the time they all passed away, the calculations showed that only 10,000 graves were there in Arabia, and rest of the graves were found in other parts of the world. So they left Arabia with the message of Islam, and they settled and maybe traversed every part of the world with the message. And that's how it went from, in the same generation, within the same generation, it went to Europe, went to Istanbul, the heart of Christianity, and China, the same generation, during the same generation of Sahaba. So that was the responsibility, the level of responsibility they took for themselves. Looking at this quality of the civilization, looking at this Genesis, we have always thought it was completely another civilization, and Western civilization was another civilization. So these were two parallel civilizations, because history was presented to us in such a way so that it appeared so somehow. Even as school boys or school children back in the 80s or 70s, we felt so. Many Muslims in many parts of the world felt so. This was because we were presented with facts that appeared completely distorted. For example, specialized knowledge areas like economics, geography, optics, camera theory, mathematics, and establishment of the first university, astronomy, invention of clock, trigonometry, cartography, and even surgery, modern medicine, much before Florence Nightingale, Ibn Nafis coming up with blood circulation and human body, human anatomy, much before William Harvey, and scientific method much before Francis Bacon and other Western scientists. So Jabir ibn Hayyan with chemistry, Ibn Yunus pendulum, and Zahrawi 200 surgical instruments, and Al-Khwarizmi with algorithms, so many. And look at what Avicenna, so in the West known as Avicenna, Ibn Sina. And there are a whole lot of inventions. This is not a mere coincidence or not a mere accident of history that somebody comes up with these inventions. This was a long stretch of series of inventions that went without any interruption. It went continuously it continued for over 1,000 years. Even though it degenerated in one part of the world, it regenerated in other part of the world. So this was the reality of this civilization, and this led to the Renaissance. I mean, this Renaissance that we are referring to wouldn't have been born or wouldn't have emerged if not for these inventions. I mean, shouldn't we be grateful? That's why for this identity. There was a Turkish politician, I think previous leader of ruling party of AK party, Erdogan's predecessor, Erbakan used to say, he said, multiple Paris, London, Washington, New York, all these Western cities, if collateralized, will not be able to repay the debt, the debt arisen from the inventions. If it were for the patenting, if the debt arisen from the Muslim inventions, that how much Islam has, how much benefited the West. So is a humanity as a whole. I mean, Islam is bringing all this goodness to the entire humanity. So are we not to be grateful for this identity? And why are we feeling inferior or suffering from inferiority complex when we have such a rich history, civilization?
Yeah, I think we should discover all these things. I believe our sense of inferiority, as you say, I use your word, maybe because we are ignorant of all these happenings. If we knew these things, then they would have, at least when we went to school, I mean, we were in grade school, if we knew these things were, it's not just Faraday and, all those great names of the modern, physicists, and it would have been a different platform for us to learn from. If we knew these inventions, what you are learning today, the modernized version, were founded 1,000 years ago by these people called the Muslims. And I would say that ingenuity and all that arose from the Islamic civilization. That was the Islamic civilization, if I would. You're right. Islam, the fact of creation, was the beginning. You say, the first human. Okay, Adam alayhi salam. From there on, it is Islam. Okay, but our we have to separate out something about the identity of our civilization. Otherwise, everybody is in the same boat. But we want to identify, again, an identity issue. So we want to say that it is during, let's say, was it 11? No, I think 700. 700, AD.
7th century.
7th century, yeah. To what, 13, 14th century?
Yeah.
So about 800, close to 850, 900 years. Andalusi, all that happened. But wasn't it, we can categorically say it was inspiration from the Quran, because it behooved people, Muslims, to iqra from there on, to discover and find out for yourself and reflect on these things. All those are there, isn't it? Just like our own scientific methods, where you say, create a hypothesis, test it, and find it.
I'm sorry, I just would like to interrupt. But today we use the Quran to find fault with people.
Yeah.
To blame somebody.
Yeah.
We are very badly misrepresenting
Yeah,
Islam
that's
as
right.
Muslims. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think we have not taken our religious scripture as such an important thing in our lives. I wonder how many people read a page of it every day even.
That's why when Dr.
And so-
Zakaria was asked, what are you going to speak next? What's your next topic? He jokingly said, my next topic will be saving Islam from the Muslims.
Yeah.
So we are, anyway, so...
Yeah. So I mean, from what we have been saying, I think I would like to go back to where we started. I think the whole idea of our gratitude begins with the desire to know, or not desire, but an importance of knowing what the purpose of our lives are. I don't think how many people, I wonder how many people really ask this question. We ourselves did not ask until we became enlightened a little with our education and all that. Was there a purpose in life? Yes, there is a purpose in life. Only it's right there in the Quran. أَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So in that light, we are to worship Allah, which means do everything that He has ordained in the Quran. It's not the ritual prayers, but everything.
And to work is also to worship Allah.
Absolutely.
Work is worship. Yeah.
Work and earn, give charity. Belief itself is a worship. So you can say another wonderful source of gratitude that we must is, as Muslims, this thing about the gift of faith also, Iman. Because in Iman it's a tawakkul, right? You are giving over to Allah. Please help me in everything I do. I'll beseech your help. Every time we are saying, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. We are saying how many times every day? But how many people really know that we are saying exactly this? I'm asking for your help. You know? And so that itself requires our gratitude also. I think there's no way that we can avoid saying, or we can deny that we have to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that can only come by us learning more about Islam, about the Prophet's seerah, the prayers, zakat, and all these have meaning. I mean, psychology and all these different fields tell us how our whole mentality and our being is improved by awareness of all these things. And 1400 years ago, we were told all these things.
Closing remarks, we are.
Yeah,
wrap up.
I'd like to just move on to the World Cup that just recently finished, the FIFA World Cup. Now, not only us, the whole world, this is the biggest carnival on earth, the biggest festival on earth, right? It's a few $1 billion. I think FIFA would have made a few $1 billion net by the end of this tournament. And for us, we are so happy, so joyed that we got to watch this extraordinary moment in for free, right? So we are all very thankful to everybody who made that possible. Now, Allah made possible so many things in our life that we don't actually think that we have to be grateful for. The sight, the hearing, the ability to talk. And even so for instance, in my case, for instance, I will always say a loving family, a network like this, a circle of friends and a network that I can depend on. All this is much more valuable than watching the football, watching the World Cup. But I'm grateful to the people who made it possible for me to watch the World Cup. I thank Infantino, for instance. But then
So many things to be sad about.
yeah. But then I don't think along the same lines when I about Allah. One lecture that I listened to, the biggest Muslim identity crisis is that we have all these people and things that we are grateful for in this world, and then we forget Allah. That is the biggest crisis. Because that according to this ulama is an element of shirk. Because when the moment you put something above Allah, then you have a problem. So I cannot emphasize enough. This again, like Dr. Sattar said, even 5 years ago I would not have had this conversation like this. It's true. Again, alhamdulillah, I'm thankful to Allah that I have been given this attitude and this consciousness. The fact that whatever I do, whatever we do, we have to do seeking the pleasure of Allah. That's my closing remarks.
Yeah.
With the note, we finish off for the day, for the episode. Umar Shihab, thank you so much. Dr. Sattar,
I hope
thank
we
you
have
so much.
some people to take home
Yes.
from what we have talked about.
So, we did discuss FIFA also. Not forgetting the wake of World Cup. Viewers, thank you for watching. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Assalamu alaikum.